I'm going to go through a few resumes to tell you what I think is either strong or weak about each. So this first one is weak. It just doesn't reflect the qualities of a graphic designer. The typography is bland. The layout is bland. The type selection. So there's nothing much going for this. If this person was a graphic designer, I wouldn't hire them. Also, I'm going to make a few different points as I go with skills. Please don't list every software title you know. If you're applying, let's say, for example, for a motion graphics job, just state that you're proficient with motion graphics software. If you specialize within motion graphics, you can list an application, list one title or two or something like that to say where you specialize. But aside from that, if you're applying for a specific discipline, let's like motion graphics, we're going to assume that you're a pro at using the software. Here, this isn't even a graphic designer, but overall, I just wanted to point out a few things. So there's no kind of focal point here. I don't know where to look. There's probably too little information. I'm all for a one-page resume, but this doesn't have enough information. The photo looks a little bit like a passport photo. So granted, she's an engineer, so it's fine. And then I wanted to bring up the graphs at the bottom of the page. The person is measuring on a scale, their skill level, and also their soft skills. Please avoid this. It's everywhere on resumes, but please avoid it because it's a no-win situation. If you say that you're at 10 on 10 here, I'm going to move forward because there's one here. Here, I'm going to go here. This person says they're a 9 on 10 at the bottom of the page. They're a 9 on 10 in Photoshop. Really? 9 on 10 in Photoshop compared to who? And who says you're 9 on 10? Okay, so I can pretty much tell you you're not. I'm not 9 on 10 and I taught computer graphics for 15 years. So anyways, don't gauge yourself. So this person is overselling themselves. Once they get to work, they get hired. Somebody gives them a really challenging Photoshop job and they crash and burn. Okay, so don't do that. The flip side is that in the middle column at the bottom, they say they're a 3 on 10 for Cinema 4D. Why would I tell my prospective employer what I don't know right up front? I'm weak in Cinema 4D, right? Like, don't say that. And then also the graphs, the bubble graphs just above creative fields and stuff like that. It might direct a little bit towards like where your interests are. But again, video is too general a term. What do you mean video? Premiere? Video for broadcast? Or is it motion graphics? What is it exactly? And who says the size of that circle is right? Stating on the right of that, it says languages. That's great. If you are multilingual, say so. I wouldn't put a bubble graph, just state it. Okay? Have fun with it. Maybe put a sentence in another language or something that says something nice or something like that. But so state that you're multilingual if you are, but you don't need to tell me the degree to which you speak German. I'm going to step back a little bit here. These two are generally too illustrated and kind of a big mess. So some illustration on your resume is totally fine. It's a style. Just don't overdo it. And as far as the page layout, this is one big mess. They just dumped everything onto the page. Same thing goes a little bit with this one. The typography is just too much. The page is just overwhelming. And again, they've measured their software skills at the bottom. Now, if we switch to some stronger resumes, you'll see in the video, these are really pixelated in that because they're just screen grabs from the internet to show you. So these are this really what I want to point out is the level of design. So I'm going to toggle through all of the ones I have open. This is great. They all have details in them that could be fixed, that we can all nitpick things like that. But as far as the level of graphic design, this is great. Her photo's fantastic. The typography is fine. She lists her software skills, but whatever. I see interests at the bottom, dancing, interior decorating, stuff like that. If you're going to list an interest, be specific. Is it ballroom dancing or is it just going out Friday night to dance, right? Like, so be specific. I see water sports too. What water sport? Because maybe I do it too, and I want to know if you water ski and I water ski. Well, then we have an interest in common. Okay, so be specific about it, and then it gives you also something to talk about during the interview. Okay, so if you water ski or whatever it is, there, everybody likes traveling too. Don't say traveling. Yeah, but generally for the level of design, this is great. So is this one. This is some template. So the photo is like a model. I'm all for having a photo on your resume, and do comb your hair and light it properly. Get help to take the photo. You can take it with your phone. Today's the cameras are fantastic, so you can get away with that, but just present yourself really well. Generally, this is a good level of design, as is this one here. She should comb her hair, but again, this is some template. So you'd pop your photo in there. So, and that said, don't use a template. Go look at them if you want inspiration for the degree of design and some colors and things like that, but then make your own. If you're interviewing with me as a graphic designer and I find the template you used for your resume, I'm not going to be impressed. If you're a graphic designer, you're the one making the templates. You shouldn't be using them. Okay, here, this one I brought up. Again, it's small, but it doesn't matter. You see that it's just typography. So if you're concerned with it, like actually designing it and color and stuff like that, which you shouldn't be. But anyways, if you want it to be conservative, I'd way rather see solid and conservative than crazy and that you just crash and burn. Okay, this is a solid one. And again, we can all nitpick little details, but in general, the idea, it's just in grayscale. The typography is solid. It's fine. Okay. To me, this is pretty strong. Good typography, nice paper choice, good application of color, generally just good layout. Let's please drop the hello, I'm Patricia. Okay, I've said it many times. It's done everywhere, and to me, it's too casual. Here's another great design, simple, conservative, good professional photo, good typography, layout. It looks like they made a different kind of choice of paper stock, which is good. Okay, this is solid. This is a single page website and a bit of a portfolio. This individual is a web developer, so it stands to reason, hopefully, that it's a solid page. The navigation is nice. It's on the right, and as you go down, it shows you your progress down the page. He has a photo of himself and some about me information. His experience is all listed, and then abilities as we go down, abilities. For a web dev, it might be useful to list platforms or applications that you know and that kind of thing. It might be useful. The best thing to do is to find out which applications and platforms the prospective employer uses, and then just state that you're proficient with those. Okay, so doing your research really helps. But for a web dev, I find maybe listing applications is a good thing, especially the exceptional ones. Listing your multilingualness is a good thing. And then they've listed a pile of tools, and then they've shown some portfolio pieces here and the contact information. I think if I were this person, I would have put my contact information at the top of the page, and I probably would have skipped the superhero background. I'm not sure why that's there. Maybe he says it in his text. I didn't read it all. But this is generally a strong page. This is another single page resume and portfolio. It's not a wonder of design, but it works really well. This is a marketing person. They've included their resume on the left and their portfolio on the right with, I think, some explanations, which is really great. You can read as much or as little as you want. It's wonderfully responsive, so you can look at it on any device, which is fantastic. So this is a really strong online resume.